Section 15 Constructions, the higher course. I've done 15.1 and 15.2, the foundation course, so click on the links and catch up on that. Jumping straight to 15.3, grade B, similar shapes. If I'm looking at question 4, that's what this is here, put a 4 up here somewhere. This is question 4 on page 222. It says these pairs of shapes, so I've got 4 questions, I've only got 2 here on the screen at the moment. These pairs of shapes are all similar but are not drawn accurately. In other words, don't try measuring anything to get answers. Find the missing angles and the missing sides. Okay, fine. So let's look at A. If you look at this trapezium here, it's obviously a trapezium, 2 right angles, therefore these sides are parallel. And this is sort of sticking up in the air, very, very awkward. So I want to redraw that one the way it should look so as to make the example easier. So that's Y here in the corner here. That's going to be 3 across the top. That's 90 degrees and that's 90 degrees, and therefore the height is 4. So what do we got then? We see that the 8 centimeter height corresponds to the 4 centimeter height on the smaller shape. The X corresponds to the 3, and the 60 degrees corresponds to the angle Y. So straight away Y is 60 degrees. Remember, if you've got similar shapes, all the corresponding angles will be identical, and the corresponding sides will be in a given ratio. Now clearly I can see that going from 8 to 4 we multiply by 1/2. Going from X to 3 we also multiply by 1/2. In other words, X is twice the size of 3. But let me just teach you a method that will always work. So I'm going to do A just down here right now. Let's go back to blue. So what I want to put on top. So I want X. So X divided by the corresponding length 3, because remember I've drawn it around the right way so you can see which length corresponds with which length on the smaller shape. So X divided by 3 is exactly the same as saying 8 divided by his corresponding length on the smaller shape 4. So I've set up a little ratio, if you like. So X divided by 3 is the same as saying 8 divided by 4. So X is going to be 8 divided by 4, take over 3 and multiply. That's what we do. And multiply by 3. Well, 8 divided by 4 is 2. 2 times 3 is 6. So X is 6 centimeters. And in the same way I've shown that if we swivel this shape around the correct way, Y corresponds directly to the angle of 60, so therefore Y is 60 degrees. Alright. Okay, next one, same sort of thing, it's drawn around the right way for us, so let's do B right here, loads of space for that. Back to blue. Well, clearly the 10 matches the 15 and the 4 matches the X. Now clearly this is also 4 because it's a rectangle. We're told that, we can glean that from the fact that we have 4 right angles and that one side's longer than the other side. So it's a rectangle, it's not a problem. So therefore the 4 goes with the X and the 10 goes with the 15. Like I always teach it, what you want you put on top. So I want X on top divided by the smaller 4. So X and 4 are corresponding. It's just like comparing 15, the bigger length, with the 10, the smaller length on the smaller shape. So that's it. What I want is on top. Simply take over the 4 and multiply. If you're dividing by 4, take over and multiply. So X is going to be 15 over 10 multiplied by 4. 15 over 10 is 1/2. 1/2 times 4 is 6 centimeters. I could have said, of course, 15 times 4 is 60. 60 divided by 10. So I could have said that, couldn't I? 60 over 10 is still 6 anyway. So that's that. That's question 4A and B done. And these on the other side are the other 2 shapes to complete question 4. Again, looks a little more awkward. I want to spin this around the right way, make it look half right. So that's roughly that. So that's angle Y sitting there. If that's been spun round, then this is going to be the 2.4 right here, and the X is going to be that one just there. So what have we got then? We've got the 1.2, I went for the red, didn't I? 1.2 corresponds to X, the 1.8 corresponds to the 2.4, and the position of the 80 in the angle in the diagram given corresponds to the position of Y. So straight away Y is 80 degrees. Remember, similar shapes, all the corresponding angles are identical, and all the corresponding lengths are in the same ratio. So let's just go and do C right here, and I think I will go back to red. Right, what have we got? Well, I've said Y is 80, straight away. I've got x corresponding with 1.2 and 2.4 corresponding with 1.8. What I want, I put on top. I want x. So x divided by his 1.2, his corresponding length, equals 2.4, which has been given to us, divided by his corresponding length of 1.8, that's been given to us. So, as is usual, take the 1.2 over and multiply, and we get this. 2.4 over 1.8 times 1.2. Again, we'd have to use a calculator, so it's not a problem. So 2.4 over 1.8 multiplied by 1.2. That gives us 1.6. So x is 1.6 centimeters. Alright, and I think I'll do D here in blue. So same sort of thing, it's drawn around the right way for us, which is really good. So 1.6 matches A, the 2 matches the 4.8, the 6.4 matches the B, and look, straight away 120 matches the X, so that's 120 degrees, and the 110 and the Y also match in the corresponding position, therefore Y is 110 degrees. No further working, no working required or needed. Now, A and B. Let's do A first because A comes before B. So A corresponds with 1.6. I want A on top. So A over 1.6 is just like comparing 4.8 divided by the smaller 2. Is that alright? So big over little equals big over little. So A is going to be 4.8 over 2 times 1.6. Grab a machine. That's going to be 2.4 multiplied by 1.6. So 2.4, obviously 4.8 halve it 2.4. So I've got 3.84 centimeters for A. As he's done. I think I'll fit B up here because I could crash into my little screen there. So let's just do B. What I want I put on top. So little b over the big 6.4, just like comparing little 2 over his bigger corresponding length of 4.8. Alright, so I went little over big equals little over big. Or to be more precise, little over corresponding big equals little over his corresponding big. Alright, so you can't just put it in any random order, it's got to be the right numbers flipped round the right way around. So B is going to be 2 over 4.8 multiplied by 6.4, and we get the answer straight away. So 2 divided by 4.8, and then we're going to multiply that by 6.4, and that gives me 2.666666666. So I'm going to go for 2.67, and don't bother putting the recurring on that, and that'll be centimeters to 2 decimal places. Alright. Not sure how long I've been going on for. Maybe get one more question. No, I think I'll stop. It's a good starter question, and I'll pick up the rest of the questions in another video or two. So see you quite soon.